Hello, hello, Monkey, Hundar. Hi, how are you? Good day, everybody. Shelly, hello. Welcome back to Coffee Chat of Horrors. Today we're going to be hanging out with Kristof Bathory from Dawn of Ashes. Once you take your meds, yes. I'm going to switch on over to our other scene, let our coffee chat play, and bring on Kristof. Hi, creepy. I am ReAnimateHer. I know, it just sounds like a porno all of a sudden. Some zombies start stripping their clothes off and shit.
Half dead. Details later.
We got our ball cleavage back, ladies.
They're coming to get you, Barbara. They're coming for you, Barbara.
Do you want a game and get your jollies off as well? This is Coffee Chat of Horrors. Hello, everybody, and welcome. As you guys know, this is Kristof Bathory. I'm going to have Kristof take the stage here and introduce himself to us, and yeah, go for it, Kristof.
Hello. How is everybody?
Can you guys hear him? Make sure everyone can hear you, because sometimes sounds are not good. Deadwalk, hello again, darling. How are you? Were you guys able to hear Kristof?
Can you hear me?
Yeah? Okay, perfect. They can hear you. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, so tell us about you, Kristof. How'd you get started and where you're at and all that fun stuff?
I created. Oh, I'm getting a delay. I don't know.
Well, we're gonna be fine. YouTube is gonna have a delay. YouTube will always have a delay, just like Twitch did. Me and you are in Skype, so our conversation will be in real time. The signal to YouTube might be a little bit of a delay.
Okay. All right. So I started Dawn of Ashes back in 2001. Prior to that, I was in many death metal bands, hardcore bands back in the 90s. I created Dawn of Ashes to be kind of a solo thing. I originally wanted it to be a pure industrial black metal group. I had issues dealing with other musicians, so I just kind of wanted to do my own thing. And I remember in the early 2000s, I started heavily going to industrial goth clubs and kind of getting. I've known about specific industrial acts, but I started heavily getting into that scene. So I created Dawn of Ashes as a pure industrial act in the early 2000s. And through the course of years, I kind of wanted to bring that live experience, like a full band back. And I missed being in a metal band. So we kind of did this whole change and we went completely metal, and which was not really the greatest decision I made in this group. But after the years, we started incorporating the industrial stuff back into Dawn of Ashes, and we kind of created this sound. I feel like for us, it's kind of our own unique sound, and it's kind of like there's not too many industrial metal bands out there that incorporate like extreme metal. So yeah. I feel like there's only like a handful I can think of, and I think with the experimenting of all of the metal and industrial, we just or myself and the band, I think we've created something unique that's also tied in with horror, which is
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I've been watching some of the stuff on YouTube, and like I said, I seen you on Malice's stream on YouTube. I think it was last year, and that was my first time being introduced to you and your band, and I was like, okay, so I gotta check it out. And then I did. I found you guys on Spotify. Been listening. I am digging exactly what you guys are dishing out there. I love the whole horror theme, so I did watch a few things over on YouTube, and I think it's great. How does the rest of the band feel with all the horror that you guys are bringing in and making, bloody mess, and which is always a good time?
So we've gone through a lot of live member changes. So I mean, one of the requirements I remember being in Dawn of Ashes. This was in the beginning, and this was like kind of like me testing if you can handle being in Dawn of Ashes. We used to do like 3 coats of liquid latex and all these different fucking bloods, and it was literally from like the waist up to the neck, and it was disgusting. It felt nasty.
Oh, of course.
So if you couldn't handle it, you couldn't be in Dawn of Ashes. That was like one of the main things. So I mean, the current lineup right now, I mean, we're all like, they're like my family. Everybody in the band right now are like my best friends, and we kind of all have the same background of what we want, and they're all about it. So
that's awesome. Well, you got to mesh together, right? You're in a band, so there's going to be hours and hours together, especially when you go touring. You're with each other for how many hours in a day, right? So you got to make sure that you mesh. You can't be oil and water, because I don't think that'll work.
Yeah, and I'm a very hard person to deal with, personality wise. So they have a lot of patience for me, and I think that's why we've been kind of close for so many years.
Oh, that's good. That's good. But everyone has their thing.
Right.
When is your tour starting? Because I know that's happening here very soon.
So in June 3rd, we go to Germany to play WGT, the festival. It's like one of the biggest industrial metal goth festivals in Germany.
Oh, wow.
So we do that, and then we go on a full North American tour in July. The first date starts in Los Angeles, where we're at Bar Sinister, and then we play all of the West Coast, Midwest, the South, East Coast. So we're going to be pretty much all over.
Nice, right on. Out of all the areas that you go touring, what part of the world do you like the best?
The last place I think I really enjoyed being in was when we were in Poland. Poland was definitely a really great experience. Yeah. I really like going to Europe a lot.
Yeah. What's so out of all of Europe, Poland is your favorite place? Oh.
I'm
not
say
saying
one
Europe,
of them.
but
yeah. I mean, for recent experience, yeah, it was definitely one of my favorites.
Nice. That's really awesome. Deadwalk says, job requirements must play industrial metal like horror and be able to withstand being entombed in latex and blood. Who wouldn't like that, Deadwalk?
And deal with my bullshit.
Yeah, I like latex. I do a lot of cosplay. Well, I used to do quite a bit of cosplay. I haven't done any much this year, but it's always a fun time getting creative and being bloody.
Right. So prior to me wanting to be a professional musician, I actually wanted to be a horror special effects artist.
Oh, nice.
So I basically took my experience doing that, my whole experience with makeup, and brought it into this band. So
right
like
on.
A very important side of Dawn of Ashes, as much as the music.
Oh yeah, and the visual effects of the little teaser video that you put up on Twitter, I think it was like last week or the week before. Right. That was pretty cool. And
yeah, that's the new music video, which should be coming out fairly soon.
Right on. If anyone is interested on where you guys can check out Dawn of Ashes or Kristof Bathory, exclamation point guest in the chat will give you the social media links, Instagram, Twitter. You can also get them on Bandcamp and on Spotify. That's where I listen to Dawn of Ashes, is on Spotify. Hey, Joy Toy. I think the bot should have connected. I know Stream Elements has been acting weird today. Yeah. What are your... so you said previously that you were in bands back in the day. Right. Were they bands that you put together, or do you just join someone else's?
I think I started them. I mean, there was more of a joint effort with the people I was working with versus like Dawn of Ashes, where I write all the music and then I have my guys who play everything live. But they were just
basically just a mixer of everybody putting their hands in the pot kind of thing back in the day. And now
it wasn't really like something established like this. It was just
right.
I mean, we would play like local shows and shit like that.
Nice. And so now you write all of the music that you guys play?
Yeah, I either it's, I mean, I hire a guitarist to write the guitars. I don't play guitars. I do all
Right.
the production and everything else. But yeah, it's all me. And lately, with like the last two albums, we've been mixing and mastering everything ourselves. So
Oh, nice. Has that brought any challenges doing things yourself?
no, because I'm a perfectionist. It's like when I've worked with like big producers in the past, like I end up being like super anal about everything, and like it just I like to kind of just have my hands completely on everything because I know exactly what I want everything to sound like.
Right. Yeah, because you're in control. You already have a vision and a sound in your brain on what you want, and having to portray that to somebody else as outside of your own head can be kind of hard.
Yeah, it's like I'd rather just like do it like one shot, do it right there, and not have to keep going back 1,000 times to get everything right.
Yeah. Now, the horror aspect, when did you become a horror fan? Like, was that something that when you started out as a little or as an adult?
Yeah. I've been a horror fan since I was 4. So I remember in the 80s, I'd go to the movies and see all the horror movies in the theater. And I remember like, I think I was like 4 or 5 and I had a Nightmare on Elm Street shirt. I remember like my mom like took it away from me. She was like so against me being into horror. And
Oh, wow. How does she feel now?
no, I mean, she's all super supportive on like what we do, and like whenever I
That's
go
awesome. She's
to
like
New
your
York,
biggest
she always
fan.
comes out.
That's great. Well, you can definitely tell in your music and in your style that horror has been a big influence on you. And I think horror is great influence because it brings out the creativity in what we have, all of us have inside of us, right? And you have, so besides being a lead vocal, do you play any other instruments? I see keyboards.
I do all the production. I play piano,
Okay.
but no, I don't play guitar or anything like that. I'm mainly like a producer, and
Right.
yeah.
Now, with your piano, were you taught at a school or self-taught or a little bit of both?
I mean, a lot of this was self-taught. I did go for piano. I did take a couple of classes and learned that.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of this stuff is just years of experience.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for anybody starting out in this industry, wanting to become a musician, whether a singer or wanting to get a band together? Any advice out there?
The music industry has become very, very difficult. I mean, a lot more difficult than when I started everything. I've seen a lot of things change. So, I mean, my biggest form of advice that I would give any upcoming artist is you either put 100% in it and you'll possibly get somewhere. But if you don't put 100% in it, you're not going to go anywhere.
Right.
It's a fact. And you need thick skin because this industry is fucking rough. It's really rough. It's rough for any artist, no matter how big they are.
Right. Well, yeah, I'd have to think that there's a lot of long hours, a lot of stress into creating what you're doing. Besides just getting the music out there, getting everybody to play it correctly, how many hours of rehearsal time and trying to get yourself out there while doing everything yourself. I can definitely see that being a big issue, very stressful.
Yeah, and Dawn of Ashes is like more of a brand and a business now versus like a band.
Right.
So that's what it's become. So when it becomes to that point where there's a lot of details that go into it and a lot of stuff that goes in with a band becoming a business.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're more than just a band. You're a brand. You're an entire entity. Well, that's what you're going for, is to be an entire entity, not just a metal band or an industrial metal band.
Right.
Tell us about some of the fun times on tour, like something crazy, something that you haven't really spoken about.
fuck. Jesus.
I know I'm asking all the hard questions.
No, that's a hard one because I mean, there's been so many ridiculous stories that when I tell people, they're like, "What the fuck?" Like, some of them are just so unbelievable. I don't know if I mentioned this on when we did the Dead by Daylight thing, but I think I told you I threw a knife through my foot.
Did we talk about that? I don't know if we did.
I can talk about the story again because it's just a classic.
I know we talked about several stories when we were doing that Dead by Daylight. We were trying to like stress test ourselves while asking each other questions, playing the game. So,
I mean, I could tell maybe like I'll tell 2 stories. How about that?
Go for it.
Because they're classic. But so we were playing in Florida, and this was like a long ass time ago. And my live keyboardist, who's been in this for a very long time, he would have these ridiculous like keyboard stands that are really like horror looking, and you'd have like mannequin heads on them and shit like that. And he had like a real knife in it, like a real kitchen knife. And the thing was fucking huge.
Right.
And I was just like full of fucking energy, and I grabbed the knife and I threw it down, like all like, because get all fucking raging on stage. And I'm running around and I'm like, man, my foot, something's going on with my foot. And I had these like New Rock boots. And I looked down, and this gigantic like Michael Myers knife is through my fucking boot, and it went through my foot. So I just immediately ripped it out of my boot and threw it. And I just performed the rest of the show. And I'm like stumbling after. And I had a band member who used to be in the military. She super glued my foot shut. So I have this weird like nerve feeling in my foot now. It's been going on. So.
Oh my God. Yeah, that'll stay with you for life. Haydar, how are you? And yes, go ahead, ask a question if you like.
Sure.
But yeah, no. So a big ass butcher knife, like Michael Myers.
Like, in Halloween.
Yeah. Ooh.
Identical.
Oh yeah. And you didn't feel it right away because you probably got all that adrenaline going through you as well.
I felt something, but I was just like,
right.
I think maybe it hit a nerve, and I'm like, just like, cool, rip it out. Let's keep doing this. Yeah,
that would definitely be painful. What was it? Can you please show us your tie-dye shirt or whatever is around your waist style technique?
I think are they talking to you?
No, I'm not really sure. Is this question for Kristof? Can you please show us how you tie shirt or sweater around your waist style? I'm not really sure what you're asking. You mean tie like a sweater around somebody's waist?
What? that's
I don't know. Huh. That's what I was asking because I'm not having anything around my waist. So, and you don't look like you have anything around your waist.
That's like, I haven't gotten enough sleep to answer that question.
Yep, here comes all the hard questions.
That's the question of the day.
Like some horror movie style. I'm really having a hard time figuring out what that is. The only thing that comes to mind is grunge. When you say that, I think of like Nirvana. And
I think of like a fanny pack.
Right? Yeah. I think of like Nirvana and how they have the grunge, how they have the flannel jackets, right? They tie them around their waist or something like that. I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But why not tell us your other story now that we know about a big knife in your foot?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still like, that question just fucked my brain up. So we were in Mexico City, and we had this like really shitty hotel, but it was like 4 or 5 stories up, and our hotel was on the top. And that day we went to like some cover band. It was like rock and Espanol like night, and we drank like ridiculous amount of alcohol, and I remember like falling asleep on the floor at this place, and I end up waking up and start drinking more. So we go back to the hotel, and we start drinking more, and below us was this like carport, and it had like this aluminum roof. So if you threw anything outside the window, it sounded like some fucking like explosion. Like you spit out the window, it was just like
Right.
So we're just trashed, like throwing random shit out the window. So we're like throwing like toilet paper rolls, and I remember because we actually had a video of this, and I was like spraying smart water in the closet saying there was ghosts in there and shit like that. So long story short, I'm talking to one of my band members, and I'm like just drinking my water. He's like, "Hey, can I have a sip of that?" And he throws my smart water bottle out the window. And it sounded like some scene from fucking Terminator 2. It was like, and anyway, so we end up turning the light because you start hearing people screaming at us in Spanish.
Oh, no.
Like, I'm like, oh shit. And my other two band members were in another room, and they come out, they're like, did you hear like something go? He's like, yeah, we got a call that someone threw something out the window, and it hit this thing and hit a window and broke the window.
Oh my God.
And the cops are coming. And I'm like, oh. So what I do is I go hide under the blankets, like thinking that the cops won't find me under the blankets.
Right.
It's like the fucking ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, Hadar. I don't have a shirt behind me. So I'm not sure if you're talking to me or Kristoff. So you will have to be more specific.
Is this the same question that we were
I think so. I think they're still going on about this shirt thing. I have no idea. I don't have a shirt behind me.
You know what? Are they talking about my leg?
Maybe. I don't know, but they're not specific on who they're talking to. I don't know if they're talking to you or talking to me. I don't have anything behind me besides my collectibles.
So I wear jeggings. So these are like
Nice.
super. So maybe that's like they're thinking I'm wearing something around my waist.
I don't know. I wear leggings. I love these fucking things. I live in them.
Yeah, you're dressed way better than me.
I love leggings. I wear jeans only when I go on my motorcycle. Other than that, I don't wear jeans. Can't wear leggings on a motorcycle in case you go skidding across the asphalt. Not a good time.
I'm not a jeans fan.
No, me neither. I don't understand what you're talking about, Hadar. I'm not standing up and tying anything around my waist. This is not that kind of show. So I'm not really sure what you're asking.
Fuck.
The internet,
okay,
man.
so
The internet.
next question that makes sense.
So I hear you were telling me earlier before our live stream that you're loving Dead by Daylight Killer. Tell us about your adventures as a killer in Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, I've kind of because I think I told you like my games are like Destiny 2 or Elden Ring, and
Yeah. You
I've
were
been kind of
highly addicted to Elden Ring.
It's funny, like for years people have been like telling me I would love Dead by Daylight, and I'm just like, eh. They're like, but you're a horror fan. I'm like, but now I'm like obsessed with it. I love it, and I love being the killer.
Killer is
And
fun.
I don't know if it's just like my personality of torturing someone, but
A Joy Toy wants to know a
I am
killer.
obsessed with the plague.
There you go, Joy Toy, the plague.
I want her tattooed on me. I want an action figure.
I wouldn't be
If
surprised.
anybody wants to get me
Yeah.
a gift, find me anything from her because I'm obsessed with her.
I'm wondering if they have an action figure of the plague.
So one of the things we were talking about is me doing a cosplay of her for a photo shoot.
That would be awesome.
So it was something we were thinking about, and I'm like, I totally want to do it. So
I think you should. I think you'd be great and have and definitely do as the plague doctor. I never got down her play style. Mind you, my favorite killer would have to be the Hag, because the Hag's Amori is awesome. She basically eats your insides. She's great.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
My type of woman.
Mm-hmm. Right? She just like rips you open and she sits there and she just like eats you.
Like I've probably been in a relationship with a girl like that.
Why not, right? There's a lot of Joy Toy is saying there's a lot of things on Etsy DVD wise. But see, I could have swore there was a company out in, I don't know if it's Japan or China, that makes action figures of Dead by Daylight.
I've seen some statues, but I haven't found one of her.
No, I haven't found one of the Plague Doctor either, the Plague either. I found one of what's this fuck Trapper. I hate the Trapper, but I found one of the Trapper. I haven't seen one of the Plague or the Hag because I would have loved that. And I mean, I've got the Trapper mask. That's a licensed Dead by Daylight mask, but they didn't have anything other than the Trapper. I wonder if that maybe it's because of the licensing issue.
Or maybe because I think she's a new character, right?
The Plague, well, she's been in there for quite some time now.
Oh, okay.
I want to say probably the last 2 years. I want to say, but mind you, I don't remember when she came out. It was a while back when she came out. So she's one of their original killers and not a licensed killer like Ghostface.
Got it.
Right, Joy Toy? I love the Hag's Amori. It's such a great Amori. I don't remember what the Plague. Have you done any Amoris with the Plague? That's their special kill. So each killer has...
Yeah, she was special kills. You're not talking about like Pyramid Head has that one thing where he puts his sword down and... No,
I'm talking about the special kill. So it's basically called Amori. It's an add-on. It's a...
Oh, yes,
offering.
I do have one. It's called Corruption. So your poison spit turns to red and you spit it and it immediately kills them. Knocks them down.
Okay. So she's a spitter. That's how she does
another
it.
reason I like her. Got another thing in common.
These conversations can go so bad, but be so good at the same time. Have you tried any of the other killers yet?
Pyramid Head. Obviously, I'm a huge Silent Hill fan, so
yes,
that was like my thing. I was like, anything Silent Hill, I have to have. Mm-hmm. So like that's a huge inspiration in Dawn of Ashes. Like everything we've done, like photography stuff, even the last album, the cover, it always has to match the whole aesthetics of Silent Hill. So
nice.
Silent Hill and Hellraiser are definitely both huge inspirations of it.
Nice. Hellraiser's awesome.
Yeah, the look in Dawn of Ashes.
Yes, that's really cool. Do you have a favorite Hellraiser film?
Obviously the first and the second one.
The first and the second one are the best. I feel that the wheels fall off of it after the fourth one, really.
I really like Bloodlines. I don't care what anybody says. I really like
Bloodlines?
It's just the gore in it is so good.
Well, that's one thing that Hellraiser has is gore. There's a lot of nice kills throughout the whole franchise. Really, there's a lot of nice kills, and the Hell Priest for the win. Yeah, I love the look of the Cenobites. Oh, yeah. I love that whole S&M pain vibe.
So if you look at photos of Dawn of Ashes back in 2013, the album Anathema, even the music video for Poisoning the Steps of Babel, I actually took a scene, if you watch the music video, where I actually replicated a Hellraiser scene. So the whole church podium thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that.
If you remember in Hellraiser 3, that scene where he's in the church.
Yep, and he's yep.
That's the whole idea where I got for Poisoning.
Oh, nice.
So and my whole look, like we designed our outfits to look like Cenobites.
That's awesome. Yeah, the Cenobites have some awesome outfits.
Glammy Cenobites.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's a great look. I love the looks throughout the franchise as well. I love Angela's look, the Hell Priest, obviously, and Jesus wept. Exactly, Joy. And Doug Bradley did pull off Pinhead perfectly. He really did. Did a great job.
Yeah, no one ever can be. It's like no one ever can be Freddy with Robert Englund's always going to be Freddy.
I agree. It takes someone specific. You can't just put anybody in a mask and latex and have them be Freddy or Hellraiser, Hellpriest. They tried. They definitely tried, and it failed miserably.
Mm-hmm. But I'm also like, I love the Tortured Souls toys.
Tortured Souls are awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen those lately.
I actually have one of the big action figures for one of the Tortured Souls, and I actually, when I was designing my outfit for that Anathema album, it was based off that action figure. So I basically like
nice.
replicated it. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Deadwalk wants to know where else does Kristoff get the inspiration for songs, aesthetics, and videos? Any world events or any books that have inspired you?
I mean, it depends on the album, to be honest.
Wasn't one inspired by the Void class in Destiny?
That's my side project, Void Stasis. That's my dark ambient project. So that was inspired by Destiny. Last Dawn of Ashes album, I mentioned it. I went through a lot of mental health issues. I had a lot of stuff I went through. So the last album that we just released was very personal.
Mm-hmm.
So we were releasing a music video for a song called EMDR, which is EMDR is therapy for trauma victims.
Yep.
And I actually went through EMDR. So, and when I went through it, I went through this like trance experience. And when I started writing the album and I wrote that song, like all of a sudden, this whole like vision came out for the music video.
Nice.
So I know no one's really seen it yet, but I can give you an idea of like what it's about, the video. So it's about a trauma victim who goes through EMDR. She slips in a trance, and I'm a trauma spirit who possesses her. So I'm basically torturing her in very graphic ways. So it has this very BDSM sexual thing, like the whole Hellraiser thing where she's enjoying it, but also being tortured. It has very graphic scenes. But at the end, she ends up slipping out of the trance, and she becomes me, the trauma spirit.
Oh, very interesting. Oh, that's so exciting. The Joy Toy is like, oh, really?
A lot of our music videos have a lot of like fetish shit going on. We have another video called "Fuck Like You're in Hell," and it was shot in a dungeon, and it's another video of me doing all this S&M shit to this girl. I have a big thing in that, so I like to kind of bring it.
Why not, right? Why not? I agree, Deadwalk. Creative minds are very fascinating. And what they can think of and bringing in some of their own interests into what they do. I think that's really great. And bringing more awareness to it. The whole BDSM and all of that has a huge taboo because people don't like to talk about it. Or it's I don't understand why not. And it should be more mainstream as we talk about everything.
I think with everything, with my goal in Dawn of Ashes is to kind of, what's the word? I like to create a reaction out of people.
Right.
Whether it be negative or positive.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
sexuality has a reaction to it.
Oh,
violence
definitely.
has a reaction to it.
Oh, for sure.
I enjoy the negative reactions. I enjoy
getting a reaction, whether it's a good or a bad reaction. You're doing your job and what you set out to, regardless of the reaction, whether it's a good reaction, a bad reaction. And yeah, I can see that.
For instance, I don't know if you remember when people went to the first screening of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and people were like throwing up in the theater and walking out, and they were just completely disgusted. But it's one of the best horror movies ever, and that reaction, I feel like, made the hype of the movie. It created
Yeah.
the hype of the movie.
I mean, hell, same thing with The Exorcist. The Exorcist had a full on array of craziness. They had ambulance out in front of movie theaters. They were handing people were walking in. They were handing barf bags to people as they were walking in. In was it the Philippines? They had priests actually bless the movie theaters. Like it caused a lot of hype and reaction. You had people that were
Right.
protesting. I mean, poor Linda Blair at the age of 11, 12 years old, she had religious freaks trying to kill her. She had to have bodyguards protect her on a regular basis because they were trying to attack a 12-year-old child.
Right.
What
I
goes through
get
their
like
brain?
I don't know, some sort of high out of that whole reaction. Like when
Yeah.
for some reason, like when I create a reaction where it somehow upsets someone in a way, it does something for me. I don't know why
It's
it
something
is.
that you
Like,
like doing. And once you get a reaction, I think it would be, I think it would be difficult not to get a reaction with what you do.
right. And someone I remember it was recently our European booking agent, she wrote to me after we put the trailer up, and she said that like a promoter doesn't want to book us in Europe because she has an opinion about me. I don't really want to say it
Right? No, you don't
on
have
the
to.
internet,
Yeah.
but I was just like, Jesus Christ, like we haven't even released the music video, and already the trailer has like created this opinion about shit and created this fire, and I'm just like, awesome, I love it.
Well, and one, it creates hype as well. Especially being able to say, well, you know what, one venue didn't even want to book us because we are too whatever they thought, right? I know
Right.
Marilyn Manson utilized
I've
a lot of
been,
that as well.
yeah, and we've been banned from venues and not being able to play because of some of the things I've said on stage, or some of the things I've done. I've been fined by venues for doing certain things, and
Really?
yeah.
Okay. What kind of things? What kind of things that you've gotten in trouble for?
This is the funny thing is like I'm vegan, but there's
Yeah.
like periods where I wasn't. So I remember do you know what the Summer of Slaughter tour is?
No.
So it's like one of the biggest metal, like extreme metal tours with like a lot of bands, and
Yeah.
we played one of the nights, and the venue pissed me off because they refused to put our merch table in a certain area. So what I did is I grabbed a bunch of animal entrails and blood, and during our performance, I threw it all over the crowd. And you just watched it splat on the ground, and you watch everybody just like, and it smelled like shit. And when I got off stage, the bands were like, holy fuck, like,
Right.
and the owner was like after me. Like,
Oh,
and
wow.
I just like booked out of there. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore because it goes against my veganism.
Yeah.
I'll throw tofu in the crowd now.
Tofu. I remember somebody on, I believe it was on Twitter, when I was announcing that we were doing Dead by Daylight. I think they asked you if you still had your meat suit. I guess there was a meat suit that you had at one point.
Yeah, so we were on Metal Blade back in 2010, and we had the opportunity to work with a really big horror special effects person who actually, his name's Robert Kurtzman.
Yep.
He did are you familiar with him?
Yep.
So we actually went to Ohio. We shot a music video at the Shawshank prison, and we stayed in their studio, and we slept in his office, and he had like all the props from Army of Darkness.
Oh, wow.
And Phantasm too. There's just all these props everywhere, and I'm just like,
that's heaven.
Just, like, awesome, because he did one of the special effects for like one of my all-time favorite horror movies. So I was just like, kind of like fanboying while I was there.
Well, yeah, who wouldn't?
but his team designed these like weird demonic suits. They were like, they look like flesh. So I had like this ritual mask that had like these horns, and it was like this giant like trench coat that looked like flesh and had horns and shit. And
That's cool.
we did this whole tour with Demi Borger, the Norwegian black metal band.
Mm-hmm.
And we wore these suits, and they were just a fucking nightmare every night. They're so fucking hot. Like,
Oh, I
just,
bet.
like, sweating on fucking stage, and I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, that would be very hard, because not only are you just, on stage, but you're moving. You've got all sorts of lights on you as well. You've got all sorts of electronics going on, which is also producing heat. You've got the lights, and that would be sweaty as fuck.
Yeah, but we don't have that. I don't have that outfit anymore.
Right. Well, no, that's really cool. What is your all-time favorite horror movie?
I have a lot. So, I mean, that's really, like, a hard question to answer.
So which one that Robert did?
In the Mouth of Madness.
That's an awesome film. That is a awesome film. Underrated horror film, I will tell you. Not a lot of people have seen it.
I'm a huge Lovecraft fan, too. Like, I love John Carpenter. I love Lovecraft. So I like...
I'm a huge Lovecraft fan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like In the Mouth of Madness is a great film. Sam O'Neill was amazing at it.
Yep.
They did that wall of monsters. It was like 20 men and women, whatever, were behind that as well. And all the monsters that they had with that wall towards the end. The fact that they used the color blue. I did a coffee chat of horrors autopsy on In the Mouth of Madness.
Wow.
Such a good film. Knowing behind the scenes stuff that they did as well was really cool.
Yeah, they filmed it in Canada.
Yeah, a lot of films get filmed here because of tax credits. If you ever watch the credits and it goes towards the end, it'll say, "We'd like to thank blah blah blah," and then it'll tell you that they received tax credits. A lot of people film here because that's what they get is tax credits.
Yeah.
So,
I can name a few movies that are definitely my favorites. I love Pumpkinhead.
Such a sad
Actually,
film.
I have a Pumpkinhead tattoo right here.
Nice.
I like the original, I like the original Fog.
Yes.
The Thing is definitely one of my favorite movies.
Love The Thing.
I love Aliens.
Yes.
Like a huge xenomorph
Mm-hmm.
fan. The Shining is definitely another one.
What'd you think about Dr. Sleep?
I enjoyed it, and I actually on tour. I started one of the tour. Actually, the tour in 2013. A fan actually bought me the book, and
Oh, wow.
I was like reading it on tour. So, I what's his name? Mike Flanagan is
Yeah.
the director. So he did what is it? Haunting in Hill House, and he did another show that was just the best thing he's ever done on Netflix, and it was do you know what I'm talking about?
Midnight Mass?
Midnight Mass. Oh my god, it was so good. Like, it was really good.
Yeah,
But
I remember reading that about it.
The Shining is a movie I can watch a bajillion times. I
Yeah.
can watch it like every day, and it's just like a relaxing feeling when you watch that movie. I don't know what it is. It's like I love the Twilight Zone, and it's like that's like
Twilight Zone is awesome. Do you like
Yeah.
the new Twilight Zone with Jordan Peele, or do you prefer the original with Rod Sterling?
I've never seen the Jordan Peele one. I guess I just don't have an interest. I really, and I love Candyman. I hated the last Candyman movie.
Oh,
I
the
thought-
Nia DaCosta's Candyman. 2019?
I hated the whole story and everything about
Oh,
it. I was just
really?
like, yeah, I couldn't stand it.
I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it. I liked their take of the Candyman universe, seeing the boy grow up into an adult and listening to the storyline that he had to portray of Candyman, I enjoyed that I enjoyed that
That
look.
is the only thing I enjoyed about that movie. I was like, if they just ran with that and not did this whole like multiple Candyman thing,
Hmm.
like that's the thing for me. Fucking,
Tony Todd.
he's the only Candyman.
He
I'm
he
sorry.
he is, and I didn't like that either. Like, they had him there. I don't think he wasn't in it. He had this voice, but the fact that they utilized a completely different man to portray Candyman in the storytelling,
And the story was just like all over the place. I liked
yeah, I would have
the
liked to see Tony Todd as
idea that
Candyman.
I don't know. I was just like the fucked up thing is I was waiting for that movie for a long time, and then when I the one movie that did live up to its expectations that I was waiting for 3 years, it's probably the best new horror movie in my opinion, and I think I told you is Antlers.
Antlers was really good. I really liked Antlers. That was a good film. I remember waiting for it, and I kept getting pushed back.
Right. So I actually went on Halloween by myself, and this was like COVID was going on, and I think there's like 2 people in the theater.
Oh,
And, like, this is
wow.
awesome.
Yeah, no, that's nice to have almost the whole theater to yourself.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Antlers is really good. I'm really liking 2022 for horror. We've gotten several new horror films, and I mean new horror, not regurgitated stuff that people are remaking. But
Right.
we've had Malignant, we've had Fresh, we've had X. X is a great film. I can't speak bad at all about X because of everything was so nicely done. The cinematography, the acting, the music, the atmosphere, the homages, the influences. Like, I have nothing bad to say. I've seen that movie 4 times. I know you haven't seen it yet, but put it on your list.
I will.
It was definitely
Um,
good.
The Witch is another one of my favorite. You know.
Yes, Witch. Yes.
There's a movie called Underwater. I don't know if you saw that.
No, anything underwater I don't see. I have a ginormous fear of water, and
I
I
used to
don't
too.
I don't go in the water.
That movie will scare the shit out of you if you have to do with anything with water, because there's just scenes that it's like uncomfortable. But I enjoyed that movie, and I mean, one of my all-time favorite new movies. It's not horror, but because I love sci-fi too, but I
Oh, sci-fi's
love
great.
the most recent Blade Runner.
Oh,
Still think
yeah. I haven't seen the newest Blade Runner.
it's
I
by
haven't seen
far
that
one
or
of the
Dune.
best.
The newest, the Dune, the new Dune. I haven't seen that.
That
It's on my
movie too.
watch list. They're on my watch list. I just need to find the time to watch them.
Yeah, the guy who did the music score is for both those movies is one of my biggest influences as well, and that's Hans Zimmer. You know, he did Dark
Oh,
Knight
yeah.
and Inception and all those movies. So
Nice.
everything about that visually,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I really like stories that they don't reveal everything all at once, and it's just kind of like a slow pace.
Right.
And you get this character development, and like when you watch Doom, it's like a lot of that. It's very like just slow, and they're
Yeah.
just not like dumping fucking everything out.
Yeah. Foss is saying the animated show Blade Runner Black Lotus is good.
I love anime, so
Oh, there you go. What's your favorite anime? I know you probably have tons, but what is like your numero uno, like the one that you will always go back to regardless, no matter how many times
So
you've seen it?
I don't know if you can see this. It's probably really hard to see. I have a huge Hellsing tattoo right here, and that's one of my all-time favorite animes because I mean, if you like horror, it's ridiculously gory, and my favorite vampire.
Oh, okay, cool.
Alucard from Hellsing. It's so good.
Yeah, I haven't really seen much anime. My daughter is into the anime stuff. I haven't really seen much of it.
I can recommend a lot of good horror anime. That's
Yeah.
just like over the top gory.
I like over the top gory. I love gore.
Okay, I'll send you some.
Definitely. I will watch it. I enjoy gore. That is my favorite genre, like Shocking and disgusting is my favorite in the horror genre. And the more blood, guts, and ass that's on the screen, the better it is for me. I like seeing things ripped apart. I like seeing intestines flying. I like to see people eating hearts. I love those. I like people cutting off other people's heads and doing things with them. The movie Headless, one of my favorites.
I think I do too, but with me with horror, I definitely like story.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with a really good horror with a great storyline. I enjoy all of horror, everything.
But
I like the B grade films, C grade films.
Some of these like remakes, I feel like they kill the story behind it and they just saturate it with gore, which makes it lose the value of like how awesome
to
the
put
original
gore in a
was.
film just to have gore will ruin a film, right?
Like dude, I love Hobo with a Shotgun. It's the most
Hobo with a Shotgun.
Dude, I love that movie. It's
awesome.
But it's just like it's ridiculous. It's like over the top gory,
and it's meant to be cheesy,
low
budget.
I love it.
It's great. You can definitely tell when a movie is just out to throw the gore up on there. And I don't like that. I like it when it's a part of the film because, like, for example, I know you haven't seen Headless, but Headless is a full-on fucked up story about a young boy who is abused by women and turns out to be this killer that likes doing things with people's heads. Without that gore, and like Deadwalk said earlier, the gore for that film, it's a very integral part of the story. Without that, you wouldn't have such a good story. Now, I think it's a good story because Headless is one of my favorite films. I'm going to say probably someone who isn't into that is going to be like, no, that's a shitty ass film.
I mean, I like gore too. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously,
yeah.
Look at the shit I put in.
I definitely get that, but I'm agreeing with you on the whole just putting gore in there just to have gore. I don't like that either.
I'm just thinking, okay, for instance, like I tried watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the show on Netflix.
Oh, the new movie, yeah.
I couldn't do it. Like it had really good gore.
It did. Had some good kills.
The story was like I don't want to see Leatherface without his mask on. Like that's like one of my biggest things about movies and horror movies. And this is me coming from like loving Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
I like Mystique. Like I fucking cannot stand Rob Zombie's Halloween because they kill the mystique of Michael Myers. Like I don't need to know his fucking backstory. Like I just want to. I like that no one knows about him.
But,
it just is this thing that goes and fucking kills. You know, I don't know. I feel like people's attention spans have really.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the hell. I mean, I didn't mind Rob Zombie's films. I didn't like what they made Michael into and the family into. I did like the violence in it, though. The violence in Rob Zombie's Halloween is good.
That's
right,
cool.
But I definitely get you on the storyline. My buddy serial killer hates Rob Zombie's Halloween. Deadwalk, you are right. That is a great scene in Day of the Dead. 1985, when the zombies' intestines fall out. It is gross as fuck. I completely agree with you, but it made sense and it made that scene very intense as well. I mean, some scenes make a movie.
It's a fucking amazing movie, though.
It definitely is. And I really don't care for the newer Halloweens either, because they've turned Michael into Jason Voorhees. He's no longer the Shape. He's no longer the boogeyman. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some really good kills in the new Halloween universe, I'll call it. But other than that, they've made Michael, he's no longer scary. He's no longer that object that you think that you may have seen, but you're not really sure, so you're going to investigate it anyway. He's now just an in-your-face, over-the-top murderer. So he's more of a Jason Voorhees than he is Michael Myers.
I mean, I enjoyed him, but I don't like, because actually one of my all-time favorite Halloweens is the original part 2.
Yes.
And the idea that they completely erased that from like those sequels, that
Mm-hmm.
basically you're starting from one and there was never sequels, like I thought that was just kind of like bizarre.
To me, if you watch part two, the original part two of Halloween, and then you directly watch Halloween Kills, they are exactly the same movie. Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays Laurie Strode, does nothing. She's in the hospital the entire time. Part two, the original, she's in the hospital the entire time. She does nothing. The mob mentality, going after Ben Tramer, going after a mentally a handicapped person. And they drag that out too. I didn't care for that as well. We spoke about that earlier today with Ken and Ashley Sledge from Sledgehammer Horror. But it's exactly the same film with updated graphics and just a little bit of twist in certain areas. Other than that, it's exactly part two of Halloween, the original.
So I had this when I was younger, because I grew up in New York, and
Mm-hmm.
this is like New York in the early 90s and the 80s, and
Yep.
there was these things called video cassettes, if anybody remembers those. But do you remember like USA Up All Night? And remember when like
Gilbert Godfrey.
Fox, on Halloween they would play like all these horror movies, and then they would have like The Simpsons,
Yep.
the Halloween thing. So I remember I had
The House of Horror.
Yeah, VHS. It had Halloween Part 2, Waxworks, and then The Simpsons stuff, and I would watch it all the fucking time. So a lot of these movies just have some sort of feeling for me when I watch them. It's like Goonies for me too. It's like,
Love Goonies. Goonies is great. Same thing with the Monster Squad. And I agree with you, Deadwalk. Now they've turned Michael into just wanting to be looking out the window. That's exactly what they turned Michael into, because that's where on Halloween Kills is exactly what we see. They're saying that he's going after the house. VHS, Be Kind, and Rewind. I remember those as well. Joy Toy, enjoy your food. Definitely. I'm having some French fries myself as I'm sitting here.
I'm recovering, so.
And what is, so before, I know it's getting to be that time, but before we head out and everything, what are some of your least favorite things on tour, and what are your favorite things on tour?
I mean, touring is it can go either way. Like some tours can be really good, or some tours, some nights can be really shitty,
Of
playing
course.
in like some random ass place in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, no offense to any of my band members who see this, but it's like you get to a point where you see the same fucking people every fucking day, and you have no fucking space, and it's like, like it's 4:00 in the morning, and you're out of your fucking mind, like with these people all the time, and it's just like it gets to the point where you're like, man, I want to go home and go in my bed and not see anybody for like ever.
I can see that, because you're on the go constantly, right? It's not like you're staying there for a few days and then you're jumping on the bus and going to another place, or the plane, or whatever you're going on to. You're with these people for however long the tour is. So if it's a month-long tour, you're seeing these people every day for probably 18-hour days, if not more, in the car or on the bus or wherever, and then at the actual place. I can definitely see wanting to just go home and be in your own space, because you're with people for so long and they're all in your space.
Right, and I'm an introvert. I'm not really a social person. So
Yeah.
being on tour, you constantly have to be social. And like,
Yes.
there's some points where like, fuck, I do not want to be social. I just want to go hide somewhere, and people leave me the fuck alone. I mean, I remember because I'd be all grumpy, and they would have to give me my own like dressing room away from everybody, because people just couldn't fucking deal with me. So I'd just be like, leave me the fuck alone. I'm going
You need to have your space, right?
Right. So,
Yeah.
But my favorite thing about tour is just kind of experiencing new places.
Yeah, that's got to be fun.
And just stories, just some of the weird bullshit that like goes on. There's always a fucking story.
There's always something, right?
Yeah, always.
So, and it's a good memory to have, especially later on in life when when maybe you're not doing this anymore. You retire and you have those memories and you're sitting around with people and you're like, this is an experience that I had. People aren't, not your everyday average person is going to have that experience, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's never a dull moment on tour. I feel like literally the time we leave to the end, there's just something ridiculous fucking going on, and
Yeah. That's fun though. I gather that could be the highlight of tours is getting to see some really cool places that you probably wouldn't see normally, and the experiences and the memories that you make. I'm sure there's going to be good and bad memories, but I mean you're probably going to have more good than the bad, or more fun than the bad.
right.
It is getting to be that time. I don't want to take up too much more of your Sunday for you. Is there anything you want to shout out or get out there for people to know about?
Well, I mean, do anybody have any quick questions for me before I?
Yeah. Anybody have any questions for Kristoff? I know I wrote down some of the questions earlier that which I already spoke to you about because they were for previous questions that the people weren't going to be here. But poor Ra going through monkey withdrawals. Yeah, that'll be in June. That will be in June. I'm excited for that HorrorCon. I'm going to Calgary this June for a HorrorCon, and a monkey is going to be staying with me. And it's going to be fun. We're going to be there all weekend.
Nice.
HorrorCons are fun. I don't like big cons though. This one's small. Well,
We've played a bunch of them. They're fun.
yeah, they are fun.
Yeah.
I like going to them. Just want to say thank you for joining us, Kristoff. No questions. Deadwalk already asked this question. Deadwalk already asked their questions. It just wants to say thank you for joining us. Same, definitely, same here. I enjoyed talking with you. I enjoyed gaming with you in Dead by Daylight. So we got to do that again, whether it's on or off stream. But
Oh yeah.
before we do go, I have my own question, and so I ask all my guests this. It's an easy question.
Okay.
What monster would you be if there was any monster in the world that you can pick? What monster would it be?
I'd probably be a xenomorph.
A xenomorph. That would be a good one.
If I die, the other person is going to get killed too.
Right? Because you got the acid. See, I would be I like to be werewolf. If I can pick anything, I would love to be a werewolf. I mean, I'm not vegan. I do love my meat. But I love the whole werewolf. You live forever. Silver bullet is really the only thing that can kill you. And you can still go outside. You can still enjoy the day. You can still enjoy your family and friends. As anything else, I don't think you really would be able to.
I would like to be Pumpkinhead too, just because the whole idea of you can't really, it's like a curse on someone.
You can't really kill Pumpkinhead. No, Pumpkin is revenge, right?
Yeah.
Pumpkinhead is such a sad film too. I cry every time I see it. The beginning scene is horrific. And Steve says, thanks for hanging out with us as well. It could be anything. It would be, you'd be an incubus. Right on. I have no idea what you're saying there. In French. I speak English. I don't speak any French, so no idea what you're saying. But thank you again, Kristoff, for taking time out of your Sunday to hang out with us. I really do appreciate it, and I'm gonna have to have you on the show again, but more of like just a horror chat, just just chat horror and goods and bad things, and
we definitely should game again.
Oh yeah, for sure, I'm always down. And we can play some Killer and Hag. I love the Hag. You have to see her Amori. Her Amori is awesome.
Nice. Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go so you can enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I'm going to say goodbye to all of the horde in the chat. You have a great rest of your day, and I will speak to you later, Kristoff.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Oh, let's see, guys. Let's see. Hopefully I didn't fuck this ending up. Nope, I didn't. Yes. I have no idea what they're saying. But anyways, thank you guys so very, very much for coming over and hanging out with us again on Coffee Chat of Horrors. I appreciate you guys taking the time out to come over here. I always have a good time talking to Kristoff. He's a very awesome person to chit chat with on and off stream. So again, if you guys want to find out any information about Dawn of Ashes, please do so. Exclamation point guest in the chat. Also, where you can find Kristoff and Dawn of Ashes will be down below in my description. Their Instagram, their Twitter. They also have a Facebook as well. So you guys can go and check them out over there. So thank you again for everything. Joy, I hope you have a good lunch. Monkey, Deadwalk, Steve. Thank you guys, Foss, for hanging out with us. I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday. I will see you all Monday morning at 11 a.m. over on twitch.tv/ReAnimateHer. I'll see you guys later. Bye.